Okay, I'm back with y'all. I was just attempting to do a live video, but it kept cutting off on me, so I decided to come back on the deck where maybe my service is stronger and speak to y'all. For those that don't know me, I'm Michelle, and I need to speak out on some videos I've been listening to the last few days. And the podcast is Sean Atwood, and he has over 1 million subscribers. So that just means he's a very good speaker and podcaster. And he's interviewing this attorney that is with maybe a team of people that are prosecuting evil people that are violating children. And you might hear me say words you aren't familiar with, but it's what I've learned from these other podcasters, that you say these words so YouTube won't take us down. Ain't it crazy that we want to help children, but there's the powers of be that don't want us hurt? It's crazy. It's a crazy, crazy world we're living in right now, but it's also an amazing time that we're living in because we're witnessing some amazing things and the truth is coming out. I've been listening to this attorney. His name is Kevin A. And he interviewed some survivors, and I've listened to those videos also, survivors of Mk Ultra. And the one that I've listened to in the entirety of the video is a woman that's 76, and she was sold by her father when she was, I think, 5 years old into this program. And this program began in the 50s after World War II. And I believe, if I remember right, the program is based on a book that Hitler wrote. And this is a satanic occult. It's horrific, y'all. It is horrific. And yeah, there's warnings on the podcast, to be careful and not be triggered. I refuse to be triggered because I know my God is so much more bigger than this. But the stuff the survivor said, her story and what she survived is like a million times greater than what I survived, and what I've survived is horrific. But this woman, she's 76 years old. She's an MD doctor. They used people that were highly intelligent. So this woman was amazingly intelligent to survive all of this shit she went through, starting in the 50s when she was 5 years old, when she was sold by her father into this program. And they used drugs, LSD. That's pretty much the drug they are speaking of. I don't know if there's other drugs, but I've done LSD twice. The first time, it was not pretty. It wasn't pretty at all when I was a teenager. And so, yeah, they would use these drugs, and these women were raped. It's satanic. They were worshiping Satan, y'all. And this has been going on since the 50s, and every elite person, every evil elite person is connected to this from governments all over this world, religions, especially Catholic, the Vatican, the Pope, God, The Cardinals. Okay, you don't become a cardinal or a pope. What I'm learning from, and these people are truthful, is you don't become a pope or cardinal unless you have given yourself over to Satan and you're a satanic worshiper. That is the whole. That is what the Catholic Church is built on: Satanism. And what this woman went through, um, she was raped. They had to kill other children so they could sacrifice them, and that's all I'm gonna say, because it's her story. Look it up. I'm going to try to figure out a way to put these links in the messages when I get finished with this video. This survivor said that Epstein is just a very, very small fish in all of this. And we must demand that the files be released. And I don't know what's going on with President Trump, why he's was adamant about releasing these files on JFK and Martin Luther King and Epstein files, but now he isn't. And that's just crazy. But what I do know about President Trump is he is not a person that violates children. I know this. I can sense it. I'm very intuitive because of my connection to my God. The last 5 years that I've been blessed to live where I am, to dig deep into my soul and to know myself. So President Trump is not this kind of person. Yes, he was heavily involved with Epstein way back in the day. So there's something about that that's making him, maybe he's holding off. Maybe he's wanting to go do one thing at a time. I don't know. But what I do know from listening to these podcasts, we must stand up and demand that these files be released. Why? Because these victims deserve to have justice on what was done to them. And so, yeah, I'm very pissed. But thank God I know how to ground myself. I know how to shield myself. And that's what I was trying to do when I first did this video a few minutes ago. I was trying to walk on the grass barefoot at the same time while I was doing this, but I was too far away from my internet source. So we must get out in nature. Turn off the damn internet, especially before and after you wake up from your night's sleep. Don't listen to the internet or whatever. Don't do anything on the internet before 30 minutes, I would say an hour before you go to sleep. And don't listen to it the minute you get up. The best thing to victoriously get through this shit we're going through now, that all of this is coming out in the opening, is to ground ourselves. And I cannot express the powerful way that doing meditations for the last year or so has strengthened my spirit, to where I do the meditation the second I wake up. After I use the bathroom, I do the meditation. I can wake up and feel a least bit down, but the second I get finished with the meditation, I'm all happy and ready to go with my day. So that's what we need to do. And y'all, this has nothing to do with our pastors and some of the churches. Now, there's lots of churches, especially like the Catholics and Mormons. They are getting to the Mormons too, that are very steeped in this Satanism, worshiping and sacrificing of children and adults. I mean, y'all, they kill these people, and it's horrific. It is horrific. I listen to how they do it. It's horrific. That's all I'm going to say. I don't want to trigger y'all too much, but we need to know this. There was comments of all kinds of people on this podcast where this survivor was speaking out, and I wished I remembered her name, because she deserved a standing standing applause for what she's doing, because speaking out on this shit is dangerous, and I don't give a damn. I'm going to speak out on it. We must all speak out on it, and we must not be afraid. If you're afraid, bad shit's going to happen to you. It's all in our thought process. You've got to free yourself from fear, and the way you free yourself from fear is love, God's love for us. And what I was going to say, and I'm going to keep on saying it, is before and after Jesus' life here on earth, the same people that crucified Jesus was adamant to prevent everything that Jesus came down here to teach us about. They are adamant to prevent the entirety of that coming out. That's why they have done away with some books of the Bible, and they've twisted things into translations on purpose. This was done centuries and centuries ago, and we have been programmed to believe this shit. I was doing a Zoom today, and they were talking about biblical devotions and about how God ain't up there, but he's with us. I'm here to tell you that it's bigger than that. God is inside of us. And so until we get that, that's what's going to enable us to succeed in all this evilness that's coming to light. And that's to know that the kingdom of heaven is within us. Jesus said that multiple times. He never go find a Bible that has Jesus' writings in red ink. They took that away. I grew up with Bibles that Jesus' readings were in red ink. Thank God a friend gave me a Bible recently. But Jesus never asked for people to worship them. The powers that be try to get you off your eyes of God. God is the power. Jesus is part of that power, yes, but it's much more than that. It's much more than that. And I'm telling you, sacrificing animals the way the Judaism did before Christ, God allowed it. They thought they could kill animals and sacrifice them to cleanse their blood of sins. That is demonic. And the way it's been twisted, and I'm going to keep saying this, and y'all can believe what you want to believe. It don't matter to me what you believe. What matters to me is speaking out on it. And yes, I'm fucking mad at what I have listened to the last few days. And this is my way of getting the damn fucking anger out of me, is by standing up and speaking out, because this shit is too big to just sit back and be afraid of it. And learning how to meditate, they don't want us to know how to go inside and connect ourselves to God that's already inside of us. They don't want us to know that, to be able to do that, because that is our power. We are powerful. I also heard on this devotion, we have no power. Bullshit. We got all the power that God has that's inside of us, because God is inside of us. And so that's where we can be victorious. There are too many damn Christians living around in fear. That is not what Jesus came down here and died on the damn cross to show us. That's the love of Christ. Yeah, I'm pissed. I'm very pissed at what I've been listening to, but I need to know this shit. We all need to know this shit, and we need to speak up about it. Okay, I'm going to take a few deep breaths. The powers that be never wanted us to know what all Jesus learned from the time he was 12 until he started his ministry at age 30. Jesus' family was rich. His family was not poor. His uncle, his mother's brother, was the most richest man on earth at that time. He took Jesus in his ships, y'all, not boats, ships, all across the Middle East, the Eastern Europe, and all over to India, England, Syria, all of those places. And Jesus learned how to go inside of himself and meditate. Yes, he has powers, but he learned to do it the human way so he could teach us how to do it. And that's mind over matter. That's how did you overcome no matter what comes at you, is relinquishing that fear, because we know God loves us and God is so much bigger than this. And it's crazy that we are living in the time that it's all coming to light. And you know why it's coming to light? Because they don't give a damn no more. I think it's probably because they know their time is short and they just don't give a damn hiding it anymore. The whole Catholic Church is involved in this. So take what you want, leave what you want, believe what you want, don't believe what you want. But I'm here to tell you that I am only successful because of what I've learned to do by going inside myself to recover, not just survive, victoriously recover from the most horrific child violation a child should have to. But hell, what the shit that happened to me is nothing compared to what I listened to with these other survivors. But I was in an occult. My parents took me to an occult. It was fucked up. And I am victorious over all of that. And all of y'all can be victorious. We weren't meant to suffer here on earth waiting for Christ to come down on a white horse. That's not what Jesus came for, y'all. He came for us to experience heaven on earth. And yeah, I'm experiencing heaven on earth. I don't know if you can see good with the lighting, but I'm surrounded in so much nature, and that's been a huge part in me being able to recover, is being in nature. And I've been blessed to do this, and I got up here from my thought process, because again, I'm going to keep saying this, it's all about our thought process. Everything that happens to us is because of our thoughts. We can't blame it on nobody. Nobody, y'all. We can't blame it on nobody but what we are thinking for, and it's our job to learn what Jesus came here to teach us, how to take control of our thoughts. And that's how we create heaven on earth despite all this shit that's going on. So I hope y'all have a beautiful day the rest of your day. Thank you.